Hey guys, Dr. Yi here. This is our weekly video announcement. So instead of typing a lot of text, I thought it would be better to make just video announcement to tell you what you need to do for this coming week, or if there's any other important information you need to know. I've done this last semester and the students really liked it, so I decided to continue to do it. All right, now before I talk about the upcoming assignment, I just kind of want to recap on what's going on last week and some of the issues. So the main issues are with the lab workbook. This applies to all students, okay, not just those who lost points. This also applies to those of you who got full credit, because you may see this issue. It's just that I didn't take points off, because that's the very first time you turn in the assignment, you might not be aware of it. So if you look at the screen, you will notice this is two answers, okay, from two different students, and these answers are very, very similar, right? If you look at the first part, it's a word by word, exactly the same thing. The only difference is that this student, the second student, did not explain why. Now, in college environment, this would likely be considered plagiarism and a violation of student honor code, because the answers are so similar. It's beyond statistical. It's beyond chances that you think this similarly and you put in the exact words. So I understand that a lot of you are coming from the same schools. You may have collaborated on the lab workbook, trying to figure out the answers together. But I want you to be aware that you are welcome to do that, to work together, but make sure that you understand why the answer is this or that, and you use your own words to describe your answers, to describe the concepts or any other information. All right, so this is the first time I did not take points off, but for the future, if I see something this is similar, I have to take points off for both people, and I have to give you a warning. All right, so know that every time you submit an assignment, Blackboard will run a check on your answers to kind of compare your answers to what's out on the internet and what's submitted by other students. So please be very vigilant about this issue when you turn in your lab workbook. All right, now most of you have got correct answers for the workbook and you received all 30 points, but some of you also lost some points. And the common issues are with these two questions. First of all, where should you dispose of broken glass? So the correct answer is in a safe, protective container. Now, usually we use cardboard. Has to be some kind of hard material so the glass cannot puncture through. We also use a plastic. So for example, in anatomy and physiology labs, we have those kind of red sharps containers, which are made of plastic. In biology, general biology labs, we use cardboard containers for broken glass. So some of you just said, put in the trash. That's not right. And you have to be really paying attention to that, because if you just put broken glass in the trash, it could hurt somebody. One of the students answered puncture-resistant bags. This is not ideal. Like I said, even it's puncture-resistant, it doesn't mean the glass cannot cut through the material, right? So do not use bags. Use something that's very protective with a hard surface. All right, the second question, a lot of people miss points for this question. So address the following two scenarios. This is about neutralization. If you have a more concentrated initial solution of sodium bicarbonate, some people may just call it bicarbonate or even bicarb. If the initial solution is more concentrated, would you need more or less of the solution to neutralize the acid? Some of you have really good answers. So you said, if the initial solution is more concentrated, that means you have a more sodium bicarb molecules in the solution, right? So it's going to be more basic or less acidic. If you use a more basic initial solution to neutralize, the acid, you are going to use less volume, right? Less amount to neutralize the acid. For the second part, if the initial solution is less concentrated, that means you have fewer sodium bicarbonate molecules in the initial solution, right? So it's less basic. So to neutralize the same amount of acid, you would need more of the solution, right? Okay, so that's the correct answer. I have this analogy. I don't know if it's going to help you understand. So let's just think of sodium bicarbonate as a salad dressing, because I know most people eat salad and also use salad dressing, right? Okay. So let's say you have a bowl of salad and you are going to add salad dressing to a desired taste, whatever your taste is. So if your salad dressing is concentrated. So let's say somehow you leave it outside, it's very hot, very dry, some of the water evaporated, so your salad dressing is more concentrated. So to achieve the taste, your desired taste, you are going to add less salad dressing, right? That's because the initial salad dressing is more concentrated. It tastes more intense. So you do not need as much to achieve the same taste. Now, if your salad dressing is less concentrated, let's say someone pulls a prank on you, they put some water in your salad dressing. Now it's diluted, right? Or less concentrated. So this equals to diluted. Now achieve the same taste, you're going to add more salad dressing, right? To get the same taste. So hopefully this analogy helps you understand, the correct answer to this question. All right, so that's for the lab. Some of the other stuff that happened last week, we talked about the course in general and the syllabus during the WebEx meetings, and I posted a recording from Wednesday with timestamps indicating, where you can find a specific topic. Make sure you complete EVA. Most of you have already done so, which is great. Most of you also have recorded and submitted the self-introduction videos, and I provided feedback on every single self-introduction video. Make sure you read my feedback because in some of the feedbacks I asked if you would like me to provide advice or resources or kind of connect you to students who have done the same kind of pathway. If you have time, make sure you know how to use Loom, and then you do the fake quiz to practice using Loom, and that's for extra credit, right? So it's really beneficial, it doesn't hurt you, it really doesn't take much time to complete it. The fake quiz will be open until the day before the first exam, so you still have a lot of time to do it, but I would do it as soon as possible just to kind of get it out of the way, right, so that you don't forget about it later. Lecture, we discussed the introduction to biology. That's chapter 1, or Lumen calls it module 1. It's very straightforward. There are no hard concepts. So I'm just gonna have you watch the lecture recording, and if you have any questions, let me know. I will use the WebEx meetings to address a lecture starting from chapter 2 because there are some kind of difficult concepts and processes in chapter 2 and then the later chapters. In the lab, you should have completed getting started and lab safety. If you haven't done that, you can still do it for partial credit. All right, for this week, we are going to talk about some important topics during the WebEx meetings. On Tuesday, I will go over scientific method and some information about the upcoming seed germination experiment. So if you can attend, you're welcome. This might be helpful for you to get the experiment started. If you cannot, no worries. I will record the meeting so that you can just watch it later and get all the information. On Wednesday, I will address some of the harder concepts in Module 2. All right, now things you need to complete for this week. For lecture, some of the leftovers from last week. And then you are going into Module 2, Chemistry of Life. So be sure to complete Lumen study plan and the quiz. If you can, please watch the lecture recording. This will get you ready for the meeting on Wednesday, right? You have to study a little bit before you come to the meeting, and then I can address any questions, any kind of hard parts. You can use the study guide to kind of guide you through the lecture so that you know which topics are going to be important and that you must know, topics that are going to be on the test. For the lab, you are going to complete the lab topic called Introduction to Science. So that's the second week's lab. And in this lab, you're going to do a hands-on experiment. You're going to do it at home. Like I said last week, you need to get some dry beans or some other seeds for the experiment. Please use my lab workbook to complete the germination experiment. Do not use the one from eScience. This is very important because the eScience one is not that great. I don't think the experiment is well designed, so I made some modifications and I incorporate that updates in my workbook, which is attached to the assignment link. Okay, make sure you complete a quiz on Introduction to Science lab, and you have 2 attempts, and I'll take your higher score. All right, that's what you need to complete for this week to just kind of show you how to find things because this is still early, right? You're not too familiar with the Blackboard yet. So the fake quiz to test Loom is right here, right below the link to sign up for the education account. If you haven't done that, please do it ASAP. This ensures that you will get the account before your first teaching video and the first exam. After you finish the fake quiz, this is the link to submit your Loom video. All right, so these two are kind of tied together. All right, now go to Unit 1. So Chapter 2 is within Unit 1. It's right here, Chemistry of Life. First 2 are from Loom, and then I have slides, and then some lecture recordings. So this is study guide. I don't have any changes to the study guide from last semester, so it's still labeled as Fall 20. Now let's go to lab work. I really want to show you where to find the correct materials for the second week's lab. So if you go into this folder, go to the lab folder. This is the link that will take you to eScience Virtual Lab. Make sure you complete that first and have all the content knowledge before you count down here to do the science quiz. And then you're going to, I'm not sure why this is hidden from you. I will make available so that you can download the workbook. And this is where you need to go to download the workbook. So you can see it's right here, right? The seed germination lab workbook with the material and procedure. All right, and then you can ignore this one. This is just a PDF file. Don't worry about this one. This is what you need to download. All right, I'm gonna make it unavailable so it doesn't get confusing. Okay. After that, this is a kind of supplemental material. It's a very short video talking about how to read graphs. If you have time, take a look. On Tuesday, I will kind of show you how to make the graph in Excel for the seed germination lab. All right, that's pretty much it. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. I will be very happy to answer them. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week.